Hey, what's up? It's Dean Bakari, and on today's episode, you're going to learn the single most powerful thing you can do right now to increase your value in the marketplace. Stay tuned, because that's up next. So in 2009, a group of researchers conducted an experiment. They called it the significant objects experiment, where they basically went out to a bunch of garage sales and thrift stores and bought 100 separate little trinkets or toys or change holders or keychains or little mermaid looking things, kind of like the one that's right here next to me, each of them worth about $1. And they said, you know what? We want to know if it's possible for us to increase the significance of this seemingly insignificant item simply by attaching a story to it. So they went out, they found 100 different writers, and they told each of these writers to create a story, to just make up a story about whatever they wanted about this insignificant little piece of crap that's worth $1 or so. And let's see if we can auction it off on eBay and see how much we can get for it simply by changing the story. So what they did was, instead of listing in the descriptions on eBay all the little facts and figures about the little trinket, they actually listed the story in the description box. Guess what happened? They increased sales by 2,700%. They bought this freaking piece of crap for $1 and they sold it for $68. Why? Because they told a story. They made up the story, but they told a story. It was all because of storytelling that they were able to increase this item's value and 99 other items' values, each of them just as crappy as this little mermaid. They bought the items, all 100 of them, for a total of a little bit over $127. They made over $3,000 in total after auctioning off each and every single one of those items. The writers were able to keep the extra money that they got, and the people who bought the items eventually were told that it was just completely fictional, and they got a piece of paper with the story along with the item when they shipped it out. So no harm, no foul on that front. But how crazy is that? Does that not boggle your mind how awesome it is? By simply just making one single tweak to whatever it is that you sell or whatever it is that you do, you can increase its value by 2,700%. That's crazy. So with all of this, and now that you know, based on documented 100 different case studies, how important it is to storytell, let me ask you a question. Are you storytelling? If not, here's what you can do to apply this technique into your business right now. First thing you want to do is just pick one aspect of your business, your product, or your service, and then secondly, write a story about it. That's it. Attach a meaningful story. You can talk about why you do what you do. You can talk about the purpose behind a specific item or product or service. Or you can even talk about how somebody else inspired you to get into your line of work. For example, for me, the reason why I started Meaningful in the first place was because I was sick and tired of doing meaningless work. I used to be a marketer for the second largest tobacco company in the world. It sucked. I hated it. And when I realized the end result impact of the work that I was actually doing, obviously contributing to the death of millions and millions of people around the world, I realized that this was not where I wanted to be. So, because of that, I decided to start going on a journey and discovering what it was that lit me on fire, what I could do to start attaching more meaning to my life, and that's how I ended up starting this. So how can you tell a story like that? Of course, there are a bunch of little details that you can talk about, and time permitting, you would go into those details. But what can you do right now? What is it that you can immediately implement about a product or about your entire industry or your service and attach a compelling story to it? Because that's what's really going to set you apart. So there's a story in almost every single thing. As they displayed in the significant objects experiment, there's even stories in little crappy little mermaid, little keychain looking things, and there's stories in a pencil. Pencils for promise. So there's so many different things that you can do, look at, or create and identify within what you even already have available for sale and attach a meaningful story to it. The only difference between you and the significant objects experiment is that you're going to be telling the truth. So here's what I want you to do. At the end of this video, go ahead and type a couple of sentences or so. Let me know what your story is, or what you're going to talk about, or what you're going to tell your story about. Or if you do write a story and you've got a blog or you write it up online, paste your link in the comments below. So hopefully this was helpful to you and it inspires you to start telling your story, storytelling about your products and programs and services and the work that you do, so that you can then increase your value in the marketplace. I've been Dean Macari, and I'll see you on the next episode.